Damping off disease often infects seedlings and young plants, causing collapse and decay. But before we talk prevention, let's quickly make sure you can correctly diagnose the symptoms of damping off. At first, your seedlings seem to be growing well, but almost overnight, disaster. Your vulnerable seedlings fall, flop, and start to wilt. Zooming in, see how the base of the sweet pea seedling, the lower stem, has turned brown and collapsed. You can see this diseased stem has become thin, weak, and wiry where it touches the soil. And if you take the seedling out of the soil, it's even worse. You can see the roots have almost all rotted away or turned brown. In contrast, here's what healthy roots should look like. These disease symptoms all point towards a diagnosis of damping off. Damping off disease is caused by a few different fungi and water moulds which live naturally in soil, and it's spread by contaminated soil and water. Damping off can happen to seedlings grown outside, directly in the ground, but damping off disease is usually only a problem with young plants and seedlings in pots, particularly when their growing conditions are not quite right. But I'll get to the right growing conditions soon. Sadly, damping off disease cannot be cured. Your seedlings won't recover, so you'll need to throw your infected plants and pots in the bin. But I'm a plant scientist who's here to help you grow a healthy garden. So, if you follow these 6 simple tips, you can stop damping off ever starting. The first and most important tip: don't overwater your seedlings. As you can guess from the name, damping off, this disease needs wet conditions to grow. So, make sure your potting mix is not waterlogged. You want the potting mix to be just damp, but not oozing water when you squeeze it. After you water your seedlings, let the pots drain completely. Don't let your seedlings sit in a permanent tray of water. Professionally, I'd say overwatering is perhaps the most common mistake growers make, probably because we love our plants and we think lots of water makes them happy. The second tip: keep temperatures warm-ish. Make sure your seedlings are kept at 18 to 25 degrees Celsius, or about 65 to 75 Fahrenheit. This slightly warm temperature helps keep the plants happy and the damping off unhappy. Damping off fungi love cool conditions, so the first sowings of the year in early spring are most vulnerable. My third tip: make sure your seedlings have good airflow around them. If you have a plastic humidity dome on your propagator, leave the vents open, and take the dome off as soon as the seeds have germinated. Too much humidity makes damping off much more likely. And the next 3 tips are all about garden hygiene, but garden hygiene is not always obvious. So, the 4th tip: only use brand new compost. Make sure you start your seeds in brand new, well-draining, seed-starting potting mix you've bought at a shop. Growing seeds is not the time to try mixing in or reusing old compost or garden soil, because, as you remember, the damping off fungi live naturally in garden soil and dirt. The 5th tip: clean your pots and trays. Dirt on old pots and trays is another really common source of damping off disease, so only use brand new pots and trays or pots you've cleaned. If you do want to reuse old pots, first scrub off all the dirt with a brush and soapy water. Then soak the pots for at least 30 seconds in 1 part bleach to 9 parts water. Or use a garden disinfectant such as Jay's fluid. Lastly, rinse the pots with clean water and dry before use. Tip number 6: use clean water. It's great to recycle and collect water for gardening, but for your seedlings, try to use clean tap water. If you have to use rainwater from a water butt, make sure the collection tank has a lid on it. Also, check the water butt has no old debris or plant matter floating around. You can remember these points with my silly rhyme: cool, dirty and wet means a damping off threat. And finally, a bonus tip. Become a meticulous maverick. Actually read the seed packet. Always plant your seeds at the recommended depth. Make life easy for your seeds. Fast-growing and healthy seedlings more quickly leave the damping off danger zone. So keep your growing conditions just right, and damping off won't be a fright. Wishing you healthy plants and happy gardening.